Hello everyone, and welcome to our Senior Leader Series. Today, I'm with Ms. Beryl Hancock. She's the Chief of the CP26 Proponency Office and will be retiring in the new year after 37 years of federal service. Ms. Hancock, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So as I mentioned, you have 37 years of federal service. That's quite a long time. What's enabled you to do your work for 37 years?
It's a passion, I think. It's a passion for what I'm doing. It's a passion for the mission of the Army. It's looking out for Army civilians. It's working with people because people become your work family. And it's also having a sense of humor because that's needed. A lot of times we ran into, in those 37 years, I had 20-plus hour work days. And so you have to maintain a sense of humor and interest in what you're doing.
So how did you build your career? I know, you're the CP26 Proponency Chief now, but I believe you started off in the Navy. And how did you build your career from there?
Well, when I got out of college, there was a hire freeze on in the federal government. I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to teach high school algebra for a year. Teaching was great. I taught at my old high school. It didn't pay well. So I looked to the federal government and I applied for a temporary position. I got picked up by an office of program appraisal working for the Secretary of the Navy. That was exciting times. Mr. Reagan was coming in. The new Secretary, John Lehman, was talking about a 600-ship Navy. So I hung around and learned about the Navy and the Marine Corps. I hung around for about a little over 2 years. But I knew that it was just a job at that point. I wanted something more. And I happened to have applied for an Army internship. I got accepted and was able then to start seeing how I could build a career, how I could grow professionally, and I never set out with a specific goal other than doing the best I could.
Well, the Army's much better for having you in it than without, and it's definitely the Navy's loss. So, let's talk about mentorship a little bit. Mm-hmm. What's your approach to mentorship? I know, you're the CP26 Proponency Chief. You have a lot of careerists and a lot of interns. I know a lot of people come to you for advice. So how do you mentor? What's your approach?
Is to listen. Is to ask the questions when people come in. In fact, I had a phone call this morning of a careerist who has 2 opportunities in front of her. And I had to say, what is it you want? What is your interest? Because if you help people identify what their passion is, then they'll make the right choice. I had someone come in a few months ago and wanted to pursue academic degree training. And again, it was peeling back the layers. What did she want? What did she see herself doing with that degree? And so from there, we were able to help guide her to an alternate type of program, which I think in the end, she will enjoy a lot more and which will support her career going forward. So it's the listening. It's the listening and the asking questions.
You've been a manager and a leader for a long time. Mm. What's your philosophy to both management and leadership?
It's people. 85% of anything we do is working with people. So you can't be one of those people we have to send you to get-along school with. Because we don't accomplish anything on our own. The Army works in teams, and that's how we support the Army. So if you can figure out people, when you go to hire, you want a good fit, you want people who are competent. I can teach you a lot of things, but I want you to be interested and I want to ignite that passion in you. And if I have that, I can probably help you achieve what you need and I can leverage your talents at the same time. So I think it's the fit, it's the identifying your passion. That's important.
So as an Army civilian, what do you take the most pride in as a professional?
Being part of the team, being part of the mission. when I came to work for the Army, it was a different philosophy here. And I'm going to borrow from U.S. Army Pacific's logo, one team, one fight, because Army civilians are an integral part of the Army family. We're the institutional backbone that's here, that then enables us to focus on the soldier, because the soldier's the centerpiece of the Army. But it's the one team, one fight. We go at it together.
So in your current role as the chief of the CP26 Proponency Office, over your time you've built a very robust communications portfolio, and I know it's one of the better ones in the Army, if not the better one in the entire civilian career programs. So I want to kind of peel back, as you say, and why did you develop these initiatives? And then what have you learned from going out and doing your biggest outreach program, which is the CP26 roadshows?
Communication is key. A colleague of mine many years ago said communication is a fragile thing. Well, if people aren't receiving the message, and people receive messages at a lot of different levels, if they aren't receiving the message, they're not going to understand what's going on. We've made a concerted effort to leverage what's available to us through Army Career Tracker, through the Defense Video Imagery Distribution System, through videos such as this, through our CP26 bulletin, to tell folks, because they process information differently. The road shows, though, that was kind of a brain spasm, if you will, to get out and face-to-face. In fact, when we go and do road shows, and we've done them from Germany to Hawaii, when we go out to do them, we probably learn more from careerists, which help inform us back in the proponency office to design training plans, to look for opportunities where we can enhance the skills and the skill training, the ability, the learning that goes on behind our community. It's been awesome to be able to do that, and I think face-to-face is a great way to deliver a message.
So I want to change it up a little bit, and I want to talk about you.
Oh.
What does success look like to you?
Success means I can step away and there's not a beat that's missed. Success means that the work continues without interruption, without any gaps. It means that there is a bench, or a stable, if you will, of qualified careerists, ready, willing, and able, prepared to step in, to fill that role coming up the ladder. So that's success. I take my success from the success of my colleagues.
So you talk a lot about breadth and depth in a career.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk a lot about looking in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do right now.
Ooh.
So looking back over your career,
Mm-hmm.
what have been your most memorable moments, and how have they impacted you?
Memorable. Okay. That's trusting my gray cells now. Well, on a personal note, when I was working for the Secretary of the Navy, I have to say, meeting Clint Eastwood, pretty impressive.
He's a very good actor.
Yes, he is. Then on a more personal note, getting accepted to the Army intern program. Like I said, there was a hire freeze on, and opportunities were very rare. On an even more personal note, it's going into labor 6 weeks early and throwing your boss for a loop. It's amazing how fast your boss can get you to the hospital in rush hour. One of the memorable things, and this taught me about leadership, I walked in one day to deliver a paper to the SES, and I noticed his ring on his finger, and it had the University of Virginia, and I said to him, "When did you go to UVA?" And he said, "Oh, I was in this special program that they have, and it's a great deal." I said, "Oh, that's nice." 2 days later, that same gentleman brought me down an application for the program. And as the career program proponent, he sent me to the master's program back at the university. Awesome, absolutely awesome for the Army to pay for a civilian to go get their degree. I was most appreciative of that. The next time was a phone call. I remember it it was the day before the 4th of July. And I got a phone call from U.S. Army Pacific offering me a lateral opportunity that I had never applied for. Tremendous. I went home and said, let's pack it up, let's go. Spent 2 wonderful years there. A more painful moment in my career was the loss of a dearly respected boss, Mr. Bill Gethers. I was going to come back and work for Bill after my tenure at USERPAC. I came back, I was asked to come back early when he passed away. I thought that was the worst day possible. I was proved wrong come the horrific events of 9/11. The lesson out of 9/11 taught me a lot, though. So 9/11 happens, 9/12 happens, and you're back up, and you're functioning, and you're getting together, and you know what your mission is. Those are the memorable things that stick with me today. And they taught me that you just have to keep plugging along and do the best you can.
So what advice would you give those to the people who are coming behind you?
Don't be afraid of challenges. There were opportunities in my career where actions came down that were unstructured, unscripted, and they needed to be done, whether it was through congressional language or some directives from OSD. And so what you do is you stick your hand up and you say, hey, let me do that. And it was through those challenges and learning that I was able to build a network, that I was able to learn, that perhaps people became aware of my name and my work, which has then served me well through my career. So I would encourage anybody coming behind, anyone starting out in their career, grab it, run with it, any new deal. It's an awesome opportunity.
So you've worked at USERPAC.
Mm-hmm.
You're a 9/11 survivor. Worked for the Army for about 35 years. You've done POM. You love PPE. I know you do. I know you love PPE. That gets you up in the morning.
I was a peg of one. Yes, I did.
So through all of that, what do you feel your greatest contribution has been to the Army?
Well, this might sound a little hokey, but I hope I put people on a career fitness track. I call it career yoga, and I won't demonstrate it here.
Oh, come on, you can roll your shoulders back a little bit.
But it's an opportunity, it's a chance to tell people you have to take responsibility for your own career. And if I'm able to inspire anybody to do that, to go read our ACTEDS plan, to look ahead and to do some deep thinking of what is it they want to do with their career. We as civilians are very fortunate because we can balance what we want with what our family, our personal life is, whereas soldiers don't always get that. So as civilians, defining what you want with a career is kind of hard. We need to be able to encourage careerists to reach out and say, this is what I want. Let me plot my course. Let me see what training or other job experiences or education will help get me there. I have found in my 37 years of federal service that civilians usually are not promoted based on potential. They're promoted because they're already performing at that level. So being prepared serves everyone well. I hope that that's what I'm leaving, the lesson that I'm leaving folks with.
So you just touched on this, but for the last 12 years, you've been the chief of the CP26 Proponency Office, and that's a big job. That has 3,200 careerists, interns, people across the Army, and they do amazing work. What legacy do you hope to leave behind when you walk out the door and people say, I remember Beryl Hancock? What do you want them to remember? What do you hope to leave behind?
that leaders are approachable, that the proponency office, and certainly myself and Ms. Davis in the proponency office, we're approachable. The door's always open. Anyone can come in and talk, because at the end of the day, it's investing in people. And that's what we've been focused on in CP26, investing in people. People in CP26, but also building partnerships with other career programs. We're resource managers. And I hope I've gotten the message across, because I keep banging that drum.
You just like poking the comptroller in the eye, don't you? Be honest, you really do.
Okay, so yes, the comptroller, but we also hold hands with personnelists. And that's important, because what's the Army? The Army's people. And manpower people build the spaces. Comptrollers bring the money. And personnelists bring the faces. So we are the Army. And that makes me very proud. And if that message has gotten across, I'm very, very happy.
So one quick question for you. Mm-hmm. This is not too difficult a quiz, but what is the centerpiece of the Army?
Let's see. It's the soldier. And to reinforce that picture, I have 2 pictures on my office, on my bulletin board. One of them is of a young cadet who will graduate in May. I'm very proud of him. The other is of a young soldier that I was able to help in his recruitment. He's now a staff sergeant, and I am very proud of him too. So their pictures are posted on my office wall, and I look at them every morning knowing that's why I'm there.
So you've talked about your memorable moments. Mm-hmm. Let's lighten it up a little bit.
Okay.
What's been your favorite moments?
My favorite moments.
Obviously Clint Eastwood's up there.
Yeah, he is indeed. I would say getting out, stepping away from the building and seeing the faces, meeting the people who are actually doing the work every day. I've had the good fortune to travel. I went down to Panama before we turned over the canal. That was awesome, totally different environment. I've been to Germany to see the challenges there. Awesome. The people are fabulous. I've been to Alaska, all 3 installations. Coolest briefing, and I don't mean any pun, was the briefing I received at the Cold Regions Test Activity up at Fort Greely, Alaska. Those people work hard. Alaska's beautiful.
It's also cold.
It's also cold, but very manageable. And then Japan, to see, coolest thing, seeing Mount Fuji while I was flying in a Black Hawk helicopter from Camp Zama to Yokota. I mean, not many people get to do that. And then Johnston Atoll, which is a small little teeny tiny island in the middle of the Pacific, where there was a major military operation going on. Because as you go to land on Johnston Atoll, that whole island fits right into the airplane window. But they're dedicated civilians there. They're dedicated civilians everywhere, doing the job in support of the Army. And that's awesome to see.
Ms. Hancock, that's everything I have. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
It's an awesome career. When you look at the whole range of skills that the Army needs, the opportunities to do important things and to realize you're part of a much larger mission, it's incredible. I get excited when I look at the interns and I think, oh geez, I wish I were, 30 years younger now. Because there's a lot of change coming. And how do we address that change? Being part of a big thing. This is a great organization. We've got great leaders, and I'm proud to have been a part of it.
Well, Ms. Hancock, I know since you announced your retirement, many people have stopped me in the hallway. They're very grateful for what you've done. An entire generation of interns and careerists owe it to you for where they are. You've grown the Army. You've done everything that you can do. You've mentored. And without you, the Army wouldn't be as strong. the manpower and force management community wouldn't be as strong. So I just want to thank you for everything that you've done over your time. And I know there's a lot of other people that want to say thank you. And really appreciate it. And best of luck as
Thank you,
you
Corey.
go into the next phase.
Thank you.